Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Lie from NF and his album Perception. I'm Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. I am curious, and I don't know that we'll necessarily get the answers here as to who he's speaking about. Because to the best of my knowledge at this time, he was in a relationship with Bridget, who he ends up marrying, having children with. I don't get the feeling that he's probably talking about her in this song because we did just get You're Special in this album as well. So that would feel kind of this flip-flopping. Very well could be. If you have any insight, let me know. But I do actually, there is a thing here. So we'll just jump in, see what all is going on. All right. On Lie, NF implicates over a failed relationship with his lover. He frequently declares her as being a liar by her late-night phone calls and false accusations upon his reputation and the relationship itself. After analyzing all of her actions that led up to the state, NF reveals she actually wants the relationship to continue rather than end. Okay. Now, this is what I did see down here. It does say the song is about an ex-girlfriend. Now, that's not from NF's mouth himself. I always love when they quote maybe an interview or something like that, but it tracks because, like I said, I don't think he'd be talking about Bridget in here. But let's go ahead and get up into the content. All right, I heard you told your friends that I'm just not your type. If that's how you really feel, then why'd you call last night? You say all I ever do is just control your life, but how you gonna lie like that? I heard you said I ain't the type for you. I don't regret it though. I learned from it. They should have you locked up for all the time you stole from us. Woo, took you out when I had no money. Man, this is what I'm talking about with those like witty lines. So getting locked up for stealing, like she just wasted time, and him kind of saying like, and again, when you're talking about relationships, there's always two sides to a story, okay? And there's always, not always, there's typically fault on both sides, but sometimes it's like, dude, I really gave you everything I had. Feel like I treated you really well, and the person just doesn't reciprocate. And then it's doubly awful, which is what this song is all about, when they seem to in private, be about you, and then, or like private between you two, but then in other conversations, they're saying something completely different. And that's just foolish. But this idea, like I took you out when I had no money, like I treated you well when I didn't have anything. Only person you ever cared about was you. That's why it's so funny. You want somebody to keep you warm at night, then tell me why you acted cold to me, which is this idea of selfishness, right? That ultimately you're only thinking about yourself. You want somebody to keep you warm, then why are you being so cold, ultimately? And as we all know, selfishness just doesn't work in relationships. Okay, thanks for that banner, JC Penney. Jeez. You ain't the only one to blame. No, I'm the one that made you rich when I bought every lie you sold to me. It's funny because this starts to go toward like, and in other songs, NF has owned up to like his failures, his shortcomings. So even this line starts to lead you that you think he's going to be like, I did my own things, but he's saying I'm the one that made you rich because I bought every lie you sold to me. That's a cold line. You heard you threw away the pictures, but you still got the memories of us. So I guess that don't really make a difference. Flip them through them in your head, got you texting me all hours of the night. So yeah, you got rid of the pictures of us, but obviously you're still thinking about it because you're still reaching out to me. You told me that you needed distance. What's the deal with you? You say you want a man that keeps it real, then why are you mad when I get real with you? You want someone to pay the bills for you, went from failing you, now I feel for you. I heard you told your friends. I'm okay. So then repeated chorus. All right, verse 2. Look, let me guess. You want to stay friends? Telling people that's how we been? Telling everybody, yeah, that we was barely speaking? It's kind of funny. Why'd you call me every day then? So similar to the first verse, this kind of double speak. It's immaturity. You going off the deep end. You just want somebody you can chill and get some drinks with. Cool. Then don't hit me on the weekend telling me you miss the way we talk and how I listen. So I mentioned this in the React. This is a little bit more of a shallow thing, right? Kind of just friends, just hang out, whatever, no big deal. But then here you're wanting more of an emotional depth from me, that you ultimately like how we talked and how I listened. Why you playing with my mind? Why you playing with my time? Told me we should let it go and put it all behind us. That's what I did. Now you asking me what I've done. I was waiting for this day. I saw it coming, right? So it's almost this idea. It's like, let's just put it behind us. And he's like, okay. So he does. And now it's like, hey, why'd you do that? You know, relationships, dude. They can be so confusing at times, but that can also be multiplied if you choose to connect with a confusing person. I think you just like attention, trying to tell me all your problems. I got issues of my own. I ain't got time for all this drama. You told me you don't really want to talk, then why you calling? Okay, and then I think, yeah, it kind of just ends. Yeah, it pretty much just ends with the repeating chorus. Well, there you go. Listen, my hope for you is that you find a person. No person is perfect, but you find somebody that if you're genuine, you're caring, you're loving, you're giving, you can find somebody that's the same toward you, that you two can build something special together. But if you got somebody, dude, that's just drama, all the red flags are there. I'm not saying don't ride something out with somebody, because that can work too. And, you know, my wife and I've had to ride seasons out, you know, just being there for one another. But you should know, you can feel it, the depth of that person and who they are, what they're about, what their values are. And I can say I've never, my wife, when we were dating, and at any point, there was never that double speak. That's a red flag, and a person that needs to grow, a person that needs maturity before they connect themselves with another person. Because one of the things too, and then I'll leave it at this, one of the things that we've always sought to do as well is I am perfectly fine. Like, my wife needs friends or older women that she can go to for wisdom or advice. And I'm totally fine if she's like talking about situations with us or about me or how to like figure some things out. But I can say that she and I have always stood to never dishonoring the other person. So there is a side that's like trying to figure something out, get some advice, but that's not what's in here. There is that double speak, that gossip, that dishonoring that doesn't solve anything. And so whether it's in public or in private, I know from my end, and I definitely know from her end, there's always been a protection there. I am never going to dishonor her in front of other men, whether, again, publicly or privately. I'm never going to reveal information about her she wouldn't want revealed. And if I'm ever going to discuss something with somebody, it is not to make her look poor. It's for me to find a way forward. And that's the kind of maturity that you can build a life upon. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.